Hey, y'all, and welcome to the Everyday Athlete Podcast, reported live from Omaha, Nebraska. And I'm your host, Katie Danger, U.S. Army veteran and founder of Red H Nutrition, providing everyday athletes just like you clean, effective nutritional solutions, custom formulated to help you reach your absolute potential every single day. Athletes, welcome to episode number 17. And today, you're going to learn all about this crazy thing I did where I didn't eat solid foods for 81 whole hours. Over 3 days, I didn't eat any solid food. So you know this about me already. I will try almost anything once. And I've always wanted to try a juice fast because I wanted to see if I could actually abstain from food for a certain period of time. When it came down to it, after I did some research, I decided that a 3-day fast was going to be the best for me. 1 day didn't seem like really a big enough challenge, and 5 days or more, it just seemed psychotic. So I just was like, I'm going to go with the 3-day fast. And I did some research leading up to this. And after I decided it was going to be 3 days, I had to figure out, how am I going to execute this? Like, am I going to make the juices myself, or am I just going to buy a kit or a package from somewhere? Well, I did some local research, and I pretty much just decided that I didn't want to make any of the juices. I did not want to have any part in juicing the vegetables, going out and getting the vegetables and fruits. I just didn't want any of that. I wanted it to be as easy as possible because I knew that this was going to be a little hard for me. What I wanted is I just wanted to open a bottle and drink. I didn't want to have to prepare anything. So, in hindsight, that was a great decision, especially for my first fast. I was so lethargic and grumpy after my deep hunger began to set in that first day that honestly, the feelings of quitting were high anyways. I just don't think it would have helped my cause any if I would have had to prepare anything or give any extra energy that I didn't even have. So going with a kit of the juices put together for me was perfect. And after my research, I found a company called blueprint.com, and they've got a variety of lengths and fasts that you can choose from, including different types of packages based on your goal. Now, the one that I decided to go with was the 3-day cleanse, and it was called Keep It 100. So for every day, for 3 days, I had 6 juices, and each day kept the sugar to under 100 grams. So not only did I not eat solid foods, I kept my sugar intake to under 100 grams a day during those 3 days of my fast. Now, if you opted for a cleanse that was higher in fruit juice, you'd probably have a hard time staying under that number in terms of sugar, but because I used the majority of vegetable juices, it was actually pretty easy. For the 18 total juices I got, like I said, it was 6 juices a day for 3 days. It was just under $200 after shipping. And all the juices were delivered right to my door. I got them on a Tuesday, and I started my fast on a Wednesday. So my fast took place from, well, actually, essentially, it was Tuesday evening. 10 p.m. was my last meal. Was abstinent or abstained from food Wednesday, Thursday, all day Friday. And then it wasn't until that Saturday around 8 a.m. that I actually had my first solid foods. So, some people claim to have these amazing experiences with their juice fast. And a lot of people use the word cleanse, juice fast. I might use them interchangeably here. I mean the same thing. I'm just not eating solid foods. So like I was saying, some people claim to have amazing experiences with their fast. And I'm going to tell you right away that for me, it sucked. Those 3 days really sucked. I did not feel good at all during that time. I was tired, I was cold, and I really, really missed food. I did not realize how much time I spent thinking about food. And now it was only amplified by the fact now that I couldn't have it. So of course I thought about food even more. And I wanted to dedicate this podcast to my 3-day diary and my thoughts during my fast. The only things, when I was doing research on how this was going to go, I didn't really find anybody's full disclosure diary. Like, how did it actually feel? I found all these things like it's going to be good for you and it cleanses you and you're going to lose weight. But that's not why I even wanted to do it. I just wanted to do it because there's got to be somebody else out there who will do or try anything once. So that's essentially what I went with. So shall we just get going here? Now, the format of the next few moments here, I'm just going to explain to you word for word what I wrote down in my diary. For 3 days, sometimes during the moment, sometimes as the day was over, I wrote down my thoughts. And just FYI, like my tense is going to shift from past to present in my diary. Some things, like I said, I wrote in the heat of the moment. And then some of these comments and things came to me after the fact when I was getting ready to wrap up my day. So with that, let's go. Juice fast day number 1. Dear diary, I woke up excited this morning, but a little scared because I'm going to be starting my first juice fast. Do you call it a cleanse or a fast? The goal is to not eat solid foods for 3 days and just drink juice and water. It seems kind of nuts to me. Never have I ever gone a whole day without solid foods. And if I have, I was very sick and I definitely don't remember. And I'll tell you, it wasn't by choice. So the morning of day 1, Wednesday, it was fine. I had my first juice. It was called Watercress Warrior. And then 3 hours later at 10 a.m., I had my lemon juice. So I'm having a juice every 3 hours when I'm awake. All of these juices are 16 ounces, and I really, really like the lemon one. The lemon was, of course, the sweetest one of my morning. And then after I found out the sweetest one of my entire 6 juices for the day. But I thought that based on the low sodium content, I was going to add some electrolytes. So I actually ended up grinding some Himalayan sea salt into my lemon juice because I just really know the importance of electrolytes, especially as you're not eating food that you need those. So that's why I did that. All right, so 1 p.m., I had my 3rd juice. Now I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling different. I'm not feeling good, and I'm really not sure what to do with all this time because I didn't realize how much food and prep took up my mornings. I did get a lot done this morning, which is a good thing, but now I'm starting to hit a wall. So it's 4 p.m., and I'm laying in bed, and I'm watching some TV. I just do not have the energy to do much else. But it's time for my 4th juice, so this kind of gives me something to look forward to. It kind of seems like maybe this is going to be the way my days go. I'm just going to look forward to every 3 hours because I get to drink something. I get to do something. I ended up not opening the store today. Unfortunately, Aaron could not cover for me. I'm just feeling sluggish. And honestly, the next 3 days were just dedicated to getting through this juice fast. So I don't want to even get behind a car because I'm just not sure I'm able to pay attention. So I closed the shop for the day and I'm okay with it. All I can think about is food at this point, and I really just need to start writing about what I'm feeling because I don't know if I'm ever going to feel this way in the moment again. I have to do this. I have to know what this feels like. Maybe this whole experience is just so I can appreciate things a bit more, to enjoy things a bit more. I didn't realize how difficult this would be, and it's only 4:30 p.m. on my first day. But I guess I really do revolve a lot of my day around food, and that's certainly eye-opening. I'm going to have another juice at 7 p.m. and then my nighttime juice from 9 to 10. I'm actually looking forward to that since it seems like the most filling juice of the day is the last one. It is a nut milk. It's a combination of almond and coconut, and it's sweetened with vanilla. So it seems like it's going to be filling. It's the only juice that has any protein content in it with only 7 grams at that. I can do this. I can do this. I'm probably going to look back on this journal and laugh, but for right now, this juice fasting is hard. Everything on my Facebook feed and Instagram feed today was about food. I swear, everything. Pizzas, spaghetti, literally everything as I've scrolled through the feed tonight looks good to me. I would eat anything. I'm going to go take a nap. Or maybe I'm just going to go lay in bed. But when I attempt to do something a bit beyond the scope of just writing in my diary and how I feel, I really just start to stare at the screen, stare at my phone, and get lost in thought. Oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? Day 2. Juice fast. Dear diary. Okay, so I guess I'm doing this thing. Let me tell you though, today was a lot easier than day 1 so far. It's still been tough. I did manage to keep my appointment of the day, and I was able to do a live interview that I had scheduled with a friend, and I did actually get some work done at the office today. Luckily, I did have Aaron on staff today, so he did come in and take over the shop for me after I opened. All I really did though was come home and sulk and be angry and grumpy. I also did hot works today, and the warmth felt so good. You guys, I'm telling you, one of the most uncomfortable feelings for me has been the deep coldness. I just cannot get warm. My entire body is cold to the bone, and my bones felt cold. My bones. Oh, and hot works. What is hot works, right? So hot works is a fitness studio where you do your workouts in infrared saunas. And the temperatures are set at 130 degrees Fahrenheit. So you can see why that would appeal to me and how it would help keep my body warm. After my hot work session, I was pretty tired. I did sweat a lot, but I saved my 2nd juice of the day, my lemon juice, to have on my post-workout on the drive back home. As soon as I got home, I drank my juice, I showered, really, really warm shower, but I went right back to being cold. I pretty much have spent most of my day just trying to get warm. Now, today I don't really have as many urges to quit. And the urges that were there, they were superficial. So I knew I wasn't going to quit. The voices in the head, they were easy to overcome. But this evening of day 2, that is the strongest urge I've had to throw in the towel. I felt like because I'd only invested 50% of my time so far, that who cares if I quit, right? But I posted this all over the internet and I have really dedicated myself to doing this, so I can't quit. But wow, the pull to actually quit was very, very, very strong. I had to find my reason why. I asked myself what the point of the suffering was, and I realized that it's my duty to find meaning in what my body is experiencing. People do this for spiritual reasons, right? So maybe I can find something existential to come from this. I found a fancy way to make my last juice of the day. I told you, the juices every 3 hours, that is all I've been looking forward to, doing something with my mouth. And like I said, the last juice of the day is called Nuts and Bolts, and it's really not even a juice. It's a nut milk because it's a combo of almond and coconut. So then I'm like, is this a liquid fast? Is nut milk a juice? I'm getting confused on what to even call this anymore. I'm probably getting delirious because day 2, I haven't had any food. The only thing I know is I'm not getting solid food. So here's some TMI. I had 2 bowel movements today. And I know some people out there, I've got questions after this. Let's just address it now. I had 2 bowel movements today. The first one was kind of loose, okay? And the second one came before bed. So that first one was in the morning, but the second one totally came out of nowhere, left field. I'm sitting downstairs, I'm reading a book, and all of a sudden I just get this terrible gurgling in my stomach and that immediate feeling where you've got to go. Okay, you tighten up and you got to get to the bathroom because something's coming out. So I had that bowel movement, and after that, that was it. Ever heard the saying, failing to prepare is preparing to fail? A major component to your competitive success will be your nutrition prep. And I created a competition nutrition guide to help you utilize pre, intra, and post-competition nutrition protocols, boost your confidence heading into a competition, recover quicker post-comp so you get right back to training, and increase your power output and max capacity so you can own that podium. I created this guide just for the everyday athlete, and you can get your free copy at competitionnutritionguide.com. I'll say again, competitionnutritionguide.com. Now, one thing that I didn't plan really well with this fast, apparently, is that I also got my period. Day 2, I got my period. So I haven't had cramps or anything, and I normally don't get that. But I figure that maybe I'm not feeling any of the cramps or the normal period blues because my body is so preoccupied with the fact that it's miserable without food. So I finished with day 2 after my last juice. I warmed it up and I'm really excited going into the evening here, going into bedtime of day 2, because I know that tomorrow is the end. This is it. Tomorrow, I'm hoping for another day of learning how my body responds to this interesting stressor I'm putting it through. Now, with day 3, there's meaning in all of this. As I reflect at this moment, day 2, I said I'm learning more about how my body manages through these stressors. I'm experiencing what it is to be human. And some of this is very basic. Hunger, hanger, lethargy from lack of food. This is being human. This is how you feel and experience the world around you and the body that you're in. Fortunately, we have the gift of a brain and a prefrontal cortex, so we can make meaning to some of this suffering. And it's the ability to reflect analytically on the feelings that I'm having and, really just be grateful for this whole run of events. And that I can voluntarily not eat for 3 days just because I want to try something new. That's pretty cool. That's pretty privileged and entitled. So I'm grateful for that. I'm going to sign off for day 2 now. I've only got a few more hours to go. I'm 2/3 of the way there and it feels good. I can do this. Day 3, juice fast. Dear diary, I woke up and I'm really not excited as I'd hoped that I would be on the last day. I'm actually just kind of over this. Who in the heck chooses to not eat food for 3 days? I did go to HotWorks this morning and I did my hot core session because yesterday it helped me feel warm and I am just so cold today. So it was really nice to get a low impact workout in. It was great to warm up. If I ever do a cleanse like this again or a fast again like this, I'm definitely going to keep the hot saunas in the mix because, one, I did not plan on working out during this time. So there was no CrossFitting, there was no cycle bar, there was no spinning. I just didn't know what kind of energy I had. So I wanted to do something. I wanted to move my body, but I just chose low impact isometric workouts instead. Now, besides my AM workout, day 3 has been pretty uneventful. I'm not even looking forward to my juices. The Kale Warrior juice is really terrible at this point. I think, what am I on the first juice of the day? Kale Warrior. It's just not good. It's just not good. And my mouth is dry all the time. As of this moment, I swear I'm never doing this again. I just want to eat something, but I'm so close to the end. I'm so close. I just want to go to bed. I want to wake up and I want all this nonsense to be over with. I haven't been productive at anything the past 3 days, and I am ready to be done with this. If you ask me right now if I'll ever do this again, it is a big fat no. Now, day 3, I didn't have any bowel movements today, and I feel just as low energy as I did when I started. So day 1 and day 3, they kind of feel like the same thing. They both suck. And I was kind of hoping for some moment of clarity or something. When I read about these juice cleanses, these fasts, some people call them a detox. People say that they've had like moments of zen and clarity, like they talked to Buddha or something. Well, I'm telling you, it didn't happen to me yet. Maybe it will. But as of day 3, I have not talked to Buddha. All right, post-fast. So now, guys, I'm done with my Dear Diary. I'm going to just go into my thoughts post-fast and how I managed eating now that I've experienced 3 days without eating. And I did it. I went 3 whole days, 81 hours to be exact, without solid foods. And I kept my intake of sugar under 100 grams a day. It was not an easy challenge, not easy by far. Now, when I had my first meal, I didn't go crazy. Actually, it's pretty uneventful. I had some baby carrots. That was the first thing that I had post-cleanse, 8 a.m. Saturday morning. I had some baby carrots and I had an apple. That apple was like the best apple I ever had, though. It was so amazing to crunch on food, to bite into food and chew on it. You don't realize what an awesome cathartic feeling chewing is until you don't do it for 3 days. Oh, and another thing, when I was reading about fasting, they did recommend that you don't chew gum because chewing gum itself, the act of it, actually stimulates digestive processes. So they did not want you to chew gum if you didn't have to. There's a lot to learn. And even as I'm coming up on a week and a half post-fast, I'm still learning a lot of things about how I felt. First and foremost, I had no idea how much time I spent thinking about food, eating food, preparing food, gathering it, cooking it. And I'm glad that I didn't decide to make all my juices fresh because I learned a lot about my habits around food because I wasn't preparing anything. I really just spent a lot of my time during the day involved with food somehow. That appears to be the way that I used to navigate my days. So I certainly had a lot of free time on my hands during the fast. If I ever do this again, which at this very moment in time at the present, yes, I will. Now that the hanger and anger has subsided, yes, I have some clarity on it and I will do it again. This time I'm going to focus on being more productive and focused because I was just too wrapped up in how I was feeling and how I was going to feel without food that I really just didn't have the clarity or mental discipline to focus on anything else. And I want to change that about next time. Another beneficial realization that I got from this fast is that hunger is not an emergency. I repeat, hunger is not an emergency. I know there are a lot of people out there like me, they get hangry. And what I mean is, if you don't eat within a certain time window, if you get too hungry, you get pissed off at the world and look out world, because you're going to bite somebody's head off if you don't get fed. I know there's more out there like that because I see memes on this all the time. So there's something to it, this feeling of hunger. But like I said, hunger is not an emergency. And I totally used to live that way that it was. And after this fast, I'm not sure I'm ever going to get hangry again. I mean, how could I? I know that I can live through hunger. I can go 3 days without eating, and that if you feel hungry, it's okay. You're not going to die. Our body is conditioned to eat around certain times, so you're going to naturally have ebbs and flow to that hunger. Your body's just following the script that you've already wrote for it. Now I'm aware that I can rise above those feelings and still function, knowing that being hungry isn't actually going to kill me. So honestly, I'm not sure, though, if I could have ever learned that lesson without actually doing it. I had to experience it. I just had to. I'm finally back to eating a full normal range of foods. I generally like to keep my food, I would say probably I eat a lot of lean meats, protein. I do enjoy a hamburger or red meat every now and then, but I only have red meat about once a week, if that. Otherwise, most of my protein is going to be from turkey or chicken. I eat a lot of vegetables throughout the day. Some of my favorite are carrots. I love apples, fruits and veggies, apples, bananas, carrots. I keep all that stuff around the house. So I'm back to that full range of food. Eggs. I actually had bacon today. It was delicious. I think once you fast, this is my observation, at least for me, this is true, you'll never be able to go back to a few things. First, you're never going to feel hunger the same again. I don't think I'll ever feel hunger the same way again. And the second thing is that you realize how lucky you are to be able to abstain from food as a choice. I was very grateful for this experience because I know that choosing not to eat for research, like research is in quotes here, right? Because I'm just giving you my little narrative and diary. But choosing not to eat is very much a first world problem. So I'm very, very grateful. And I think keeping good notes like this and then being honest about how I was feeling was the key to making the suffering and long days with no food worth it. I know that fasting for a lengthy period of time isn't going to be for everyone, but it is for anyone who wants to learn more about themselves and learn more about their real relationship with food. Yeah, I think this was a really, really fun experience. And I would have never said that during days 1, 2, or 3. But post-fast, when the smoke clears, when the sun comes out, the rain stops, it was a great experience. And as always, if you want to do this, if you want to go on a fast, send me an email if you've got anything that you want to know. Katie@redhnutrition.com. Always check with your healthcare professional if you have any underlying health conditions or concerns about how a fast could affect any medications you're on or any conditions that you may have. I will do a fast again soon. It'll probably be within the next 6 months. And this time I'm going to go for 5 days. I'm going to go for 5 days because I remember my first day post-fast that Saturday when I woke up, I'm like, okay, I didn't have that hunger anymore. I was just kind of satiated, content, I would say. But when I woke up, I'm like, if I had to do another day, I totally could. It's kind of like, now how long can you go? I made 3 days. Can I do 4? Well, I'm going to try 5. And like I said, probably within the next 6 months, and you'll know all about it because 5 days is going to be different than 3 days. And I'll keep a Dear Diary for that too. Alrighty, athletes, that is it for this episode and my experience during my first ever juice fast. So I hope you found it entertaining. I hope you like the Dear Diary way of presentation. And next week, I've got a good one for you too. We're going to be chatting about how beets, yes, the red root vegetable beets, how beets are your new secret weapon for fitness performance. Stay tuned. But in the meantime, you can find dozens of performance optimization solutions at redhshop.com. And for being a loyal listener of the podcast, remember to use code podcast20 to save 20% on your first order, your next order, and every single order after that. redhshop.com, podcast20, save 20%. Okay, guys, episode number 17 is a wrap. Let's meet again same time next week, shall we? Of course we will. Athletes, I'll see you then. This is Katie D, over and out.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.